The leading force is brought to you by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far.
Welcome to the show, The Leading Force. This is your host, Sunil Hali. Indian community has really grown manifold. From 1990s when we were just a shade under a million and growing into just a shade under 4 million now in less than 2 decades, this is a role model community. Whether it is a field of art, architecture, medicine, IT, you name it, they have excelled. But this journey was not that easy. Last 20 years have been very difficult, very challenging. Whether it is about dotbusters, whether it's about bomb throwing in on Oak Tree Road businesses, whether it's a discrimination of an attack on a cultural event like Navratri, only one person stood out in the very early stage. A man who is courageous, visionary, straight shooter with a frontline leadership and a never say die attitude. When you think about this man, he sacrificed his nights, he worked hard, he sacrificed his personal life, his business, but he was always there, whether it was at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., or a call at any time of the day, he was there. Yes, this is our man today on this show, the leading force of Indian community, Peter Pradeep Kothari. Welcome to our show, Peter.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
I know you like to be called Peter, but your original name, as suggested,
I have no problem. Peter was a name I took it when I was working in a hospital and when I was working with airline. And then I'm known as a Peter, but many people knows me with my
original
birth name, Pradeep.
Yeah, we'll come back to that as we cover the journey through your life. Tell us about your family, early life, your parents. Where did you grow up?
Well, I grew up in a university town, Baroda. Now it's known as Vadodara in the state of Gujarat. And after high school, I did 6 years of my engineering degree in electrical engineering. And during my student life, I enjoyed many leading position in university elections, such as FRGS and other levels. Also in the community, also I was very popular.
Back home in Vadodara?
Back home at that time also very, I can say at least in 20 blocks, almost every household I have access up to the kitchen. And my mother was a councilwoman, plus she was very well known, very fearless woman leader at that time.
Very interesting.
And
what about your father?
And my father was a follower of Ravi Shankar Maharaj, and he was a disciple of him. And at an early age, I got opportunity to go with him in many villages during the very hot summer, because they were doing eye camps in a high school or tent where there is no running water or any facility or electricity even. And we were volunteers because the operations were done with a battery only. So we were assisting with battery. So my brother, sister, everybody got that exposure. And Sunil, you can imagine any religious, national, or we were celebrating that time in where I grew up.
And you mentioned that you went into leadership as early as in your college time.
High school time.
When did you feel that you are cut to lead? You have the courage, you have the will to sacrifice, you have the ability to lead. Leaders are born, as they say, and someday it dawns upon them, I can do it. When did you feel that?
Well, with a very early age in high school, I was a class monitor. I was representing, and I was punished also many times because anywhere when you disagree at a very small level, also you get a punishment. And I was not a because I was always loser in both the end. At home also, I was getting a maximum.
Punishment.
Not exactly the punishment, but they were not happy with me because my brother and sister were very outstanding in education.
You both are doctors.
My brother is a gynecologist, my sister is a gynecologist, my other sister is a gold medalist. So I am the only one.
No, you are an engineer. You
I
did
am
engineering.
counted, but my father always thought that I will not complete a high school. The way I was involved from a high school.
But
So after the college also, it was not my choice to come here.
we'll come to that as we go forward. You mentioned very fondly about your mom, dad. Tell us, what do you recollect about them? What is your memories about your mom?
Miss, my mother was, in my eye, was a iron lady. She was a very strong woman. And people around our area was a totally a mixed area. Lot of Baroda was a Maharashtrian state, was ruled by a very popular ruler, Sayaji Rao Gaikwad. And due to Gaikwad ruling, Baroda got so much benefit. And it was a Maharashtrian community, Muslim community, Gujarati community. It is a cosmos.
Quite a bit of mix.
Yes, and per area where I lived, within 100 feet is a lot of Maharashtrian. Within other side of 100 feet, mostly Gujarati. Another 100 feet, all the Muslims. Mosque is about 40 feet. Temple is another 40 feet away. So,
Your mom was very popular person.
and mother was a very secular and very strong personality. Nobody will dare, no matter how outlaws, when mother passed, nobody can do anything. Even my mother's death, I got so many emails, and one of my friend wrote an email. He was very notorious with me also. That the only thing we fear when your mother is there in any riots, we will not able to do anything damage to anybody.
But that's
Even we never afraid of police, but we're afraid of her.
So is it true to say that
Yes,
she was your mentor?
She can go to any village if somebody's daughter or wife was just kidnapped or anything. She will take a police jeep or anything and will go in that town and bring her back and put it in a there is a women place. She
When
was
you look
working
back-
with many organizations.
So when you look back, you feel in your mind she kind of mentored you?
Mother and father both mentor me. My father was a person who will not give a tetracycline, even though he was an ophthalmologist surgeon. He will give a aspirin, and he won't worry about money. We all lived in a very small one room, all four brothers, sisters, and mother, father. He was never interested in money. He will do free operation, free checkup. Gujarat's biggest eye hospital is founded by my father.
Correct.
And biggest dental hospital is founded by my father.
So nice.
So, and all they are charitable. I am running one of that. That is
Very blessed. Peter, you come from Gujarat, and we have seen two of the most important, most significant global leaders, Sardar Patel and Mahatma Gandhi. Did they play any role in your growing up?
well, both of them were not there. Means during my
No, but they are like
it always they played a role in every Indians. Means
but in your mind, influence your
because
mind.
we studied about the Sardar Patel and we studied about Gandhiji and we studied about many other leaders. But these two people were from our state.
Correct.
And they played the most important role in each individual's capacity. One was called the father of a nation. One was called
Builder of the
a Iron Man of India. India could have not been united without Sardar.
Correct.
India's independence was impossible, and particularly I think when there was no communication, there were no roads, how these people really
Connecting.
connected the entire India. And masses were following them. When I am doing something here or what I was doing in a college and things, every step you have to watch your back, and even right and wrong, there are always another opinion.
Right.
So I am thinking, or maybe someday they will be treated like a god, because this is an impossible task.
they were
when
absolutely
you really
charismatic.
think about
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
it's Sunil, how a kind of a look that man have can mobilize masses
All over the
throughout
world.
India.
Yeah.
And the way the
So
Sardar
somewhere they
looks,
played that role in your mind, I would imagine.
yeah, means someday they will be even recognized as a god. I am 50 years. Nobody saw the Krishna, nobody saw the Rama, nobody saw the everything, right?
Just a reference.
And they are like a god after so many years, thousands and thousands of years. Someday we will not be there at that time, but I'm sure their contribution will be remembered in
Saint
everybody's
Teresa.
lifetime.
When did you move to US?
I came to 72 November.
And what brought you to come to US?
As I said, mentioned earlier, I didn't want to leave my town or my country. My parents were too much worried about both the brothers. We both were very vigilant in the way we were in. And my mother particularly felt, because time was changing, and kind of nature they know about us, that you will not survive here, or you will be always fighting. It's better that you become responsible person rather than spend whole your here in a country and will not be able to do. Things were changing. Things are kind of politics is changing. So she was very much worried. My father was also worried.
But did it occur to you that since you are a leader by nature, you could have gone into public life in Gujarat?
I could have, but they didn't want me to, because they know the kind of hurdles they were seeing. Things were changing every day. Money was playing different roles, and they don't want us to be dishonest people. And they were very, very straight throughout the life. So they don't think that we have a place in politics there. That was their first things. And they say that if you are here, you are always going to be active, and someday you will pay the very heavy price for that. So she thought that I should study, I should become a self-responsible person. That is what she didn't think that I'm a responsible person.
Very, very interesting.
And that's why my sister did all formalities for me to get me, because they were talking, they were in the United States.
Right.
So they were talking and they thought that I should be further study. I disagree. Finally, I can never disagree with parents. If they say anything, I have to just follow, because that will be good for me.
Very nice.
So I made one simple condition, because my mother will never sleep until I go home. And my going home time was never before 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I told her, if I go there, I will not involved in anything. This is the end of it, my past, all these things end here.
That's what you thought, at least at that
And
time.
that time I promised her, I will never involved in anything. But if I come back, then you will never worry about me. If you have to read the news, you read in the newspaper next day morning. And this is exactly what I told her.
Very nice.
And the only condition is that you have to buy a round trip ticket for me. I will not go one-way ticket. Even though I'm going for student visa, I will not go.
We will come back to this after a short break, Peter. Very interesting. On this show, Leading Force, with us, we have Peter Kothari, as you find him in the last segment, courageous, never say die attitude, daring, fearless. We'll be right back after the short break.
The Leading Force is brought to you by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far.